All right, good day everyone, and welcome back to the second week of the cybersecurity class. Last week we talked about the introduction to cybersecurity, and this is our last slide. It was the slide we used last week, talking about what cybersecurity is and core goals and principles. We also went into the CIA triad, that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability, and I would actually lay a good effect on the cybersecurity world and why it is needed. We talked about how cybersecurity is well needed in the industry and how everything will be safe with cybersecurity analysts and engineers around. I think we went into some kind of cyber threats. I was talking about malware, phishing, data breaches, ransomware, and all of that. So this week, we're going to be going deep into the common cyber threats and how we can prevent some of it. Yes, how we can prevent some of these cyber threats from ourselves, from us being a victim to the cyber threats. So you know that threat is something that hasn't occurred, but it's once it occurs, it will lay a bad thing on you personally, and that's why we need to know about this threat and know how we can mitigate ourselves, or know how we can mitigate these threats from us. Yes, how we can reduce the impact of these threats and how we can also stop it totally, because some threats here they can actually be stopped totally, and that's that depends on us, especially when I'm talking about phishing and social engineering and also malware too. Yeah. So I'll be going to the first one, which is phishing and social engineering. Now, phishing and social engineering is one of the whole time cyber threat that has been evolving for more than 2 decades now and still ongoing. Yes, still ongoing. When we're talking about phishing and social engineering, it's a way where attacker manipulates users to hand over credentials and execute malicious actions. So when I'm saying attacker actually manipulates users, that's the social engineering part where they're engineering you into dropping something you're not meant to drop, into dropping your credentials, your details, everything about you. That includes password, that includes card number, that includes even some other discrete credentials, details about your data that are not meant to be acquired by the outside world, acquired by them, where you have them saying drop this and this. You know how someone will sweet talk you through a chat and you drop your NIN, you drop your BVN to win one something that's not even real. And at the end of the day, the person ends up blocking you. And from there, you see that all your bank accounts, everything is gone. I don't know, might have happened to any of us before, or probably someone we know. And that's why we need to talk about the cyber threats and know how we can prevent ourselves from this cyber threat today. Now, this phishing and social engineering are actually two different things, but they also come together because social engineering is the act of talking to you or manipulating you into dropping something by yourself. I just tell you this, I tell you that, and then you dropped your details, you drop your password. That's social engineering part. The phishing part is when I send a message and I add a link to it, and you click the link. Aha. And from there, you went into what will actually benefit me. That's actually phishing. And most of the times, these links are actually malwares. Yeah, they are malware. Thank God the next is malware campaign, and we can talk about how phishing actually leads to malware. And from there, everything gets exploited. Now, phishing is a kind of way of luring you into clicking a malicious link. A malicious link is a malware. Yes, malware. Malware stands for malicious software. Yes. Now, when you click on that link, you find out that probably your laptop, let's say you use your laptop now, when after clicking on it, you see that all your emails are gone, all your passwords are gone. Probably they've known it, and you see that your account has been blocked. You've lost access to most of the things you had access to. And it's all your passwords are mostly saved on Google, they save it there. But after clicking this link, they get access into all these things and they exploit you from there. That is, they attack you from there, and you won't, you'll be really pained because you clicked a link you're not meant to click on. Now, this phishing link is sending an email. Most of the times it's usually through emails. So when an unknown person or unknown organization sends an email to you, sometimes the email mark it as spam. And sometimes even a legit organization might actually send you something, but the email will still mark it as spam. Because why? You haven't actually been receiving any email from that particular aspect before, possibly. Or the link is having some kind of malware involved, because Gmail has been built in a form of way whereby it can actually detect some link and see if they're actually marked as malicious, and then he put it in the spam page. You won't even receive any notification that you received an email unless you go there to check it yourself. If most of us go into our spams now, we should be cleaning our spams once in a while, at least every month, once in a month, because we have multiple mails coming in and everything saved in a spam, just eating up space there, just useless. You have to clear them up. Now, why am I talking about this phishing? Phishing, most of the times, the hacker come in form of an organization or a sector where you are working, and they send it to you in the form of, they can say, okay, this is the HR department of this. We require you to drop this, this and that, and then you drop your information. That's phishing. That's social engineering through phishing. When they tell you to drop something through an email, they send you an email and saying, dear Gabriel, you were told that this is and that. Now we want to award you for this. Kindly drop your bank card number and the CVV and the PIN. And first of all, an organization will never ask you for that through an email. They will never ask you for that, even through a phone call. Yes, they never do that. There's a way an attacker can actually manipulate phone calling where you think it's actually the organization. Yes, I can call you now, and what you'll be seeing there is Zenith Bank or Zenith HR, and then you pick up the call. I'm like, hello, this and that. Can you kindly call your card number for the verification of this and that? Of course, majority will fall into this because they are not aware of this cyber threat that we have. Our organization will never ask for this kind of information unless you are seeing them face to face or you are filling a form. Aside that, don't drop your any organization or details or credentials about you online when you are not really sure of what the real intent is or the source of that information. Now, how can we prevent ourselves from this phishing link? Because there's a way, let's say an attacker can also come in form of Microsoft. Most of the time, they even use Microsoft. Why? That's one of the most forgeable names you can actually use, whereby they type Microsoft in this form. All right, I will be performing an example here, and we can see that. Now we have Microsoft, and we have Microsoft. Now, of course, I typed RN here, but majority might not actually know that this is RN. Seeing it at first, they'll believe it's Microsoft. Now, this is a very good example, as you can see. Now, they type this and they put this in their name, and I think it's actually from Microsoft, asking for your details and credentials, or asking you to click on a link. And when you click on that link, some kind of malware gets into your system or your phone device, and you get exploited from there. From there, that is where all this ransomware, spyware, hardware comes in most of the times. So whenever you have a link you're not sure of, read the link carefully. Look at the structure they use to set the email. Because these days now, hackers are actually getting more experienced and they are setting their emails in a kind of structurized way where you think it's actually from the organization. Majority of people are actually getting exploited through phishing attacks through email. Now, let's say you have a link and you don't know where it is coming from, or you are not sure how to know if it is true or not. You can simply copy the link and go to a place called virustotal.com. Yeah, virustotal.com. This is a place whereby you can actually drop your link, drop your form, your documents, IP address, and check if it's actually validated or it is malicious. Now, for example, we're going to be using Facebook. As we all know, Facebook is a legit source, a legit platform that everyone goes to. Now, if it is malicious, you will see red all over. Now you are seeing green. That means not malicious. It's a legit link. Everything here is clean, as you can see. There's no form of malicious software, no form of anything, any thing coming in or anywhere from anywhere. Now let me try typing a malicious link and let's see if it can actually verify that. But I actually don't have any malicious link in my head, so I'll just form one. Now this is RN Microsoft. This is not Microsoft. You can see how it looks like Microsoft. You can see how it looks like Microsoft. That's it. You have to be really careful. As you can see. Now this is a very perfect example. You see that we have here now, we have it says security vendors flag this URL as malicious. That is, majority of the hackers are actually be using this kind of ways to get people into thinking they are from Microsoft company. And you can see it says phishing malware, that is malicious software. Phishing, malware. Now, when I see this, I won't click on this link because obviously it's malicious. And clicking on this link will do a real damage for you. Yes. Another thing is don't download anything from an unknown source. That's another way a malware can actually get into your system. Now let's talk about malware real quick. Now, a malware, we have ransomware, we have spyware, we have hardware, we have a lot of malware attacks, malwares, malicious softwares. But I'm going to be talking about two, three. Now, the first one is ransomware. Ransomware, you might actually not be attacked through a ransomware attack because, they only go after big organizations to perform this kind of attack, whereby they lock their accounts, they lock their systems, they lock their internal policies, and they tell them to pay a particular amount before they can get access back to their data. Now, this is a ransomware attack, and targets are big companies and enterprises that they can use, big organizations to target this to get huge amount of money from them. The second one is spyware. This spyware is spies on your system, it spies on your device, where it gets information like your passwords, your username, where you are being, everything about you. Literally, you are not invisible online as far as you've been online before. It's not possible to cover all your digital footprints. It's not possible. Now, this spyware actually spies on your system, checks everything, and validates some things you want to take. And from there, they can actually take your password, change it without you knowing, and you get attacked from there. And how can this spyware come into your system? Spyware, ransomware, hardware, any kind of malicious software, they can come into your system or device by clicking any malicious link that you don't know about, or plugging an unknown USB drive or flash drive into your device. Yes, it's not every flash drive you see lying on the ground you can plug into your system. That's why you should always have antivirus on your system. I think Windows 11 comes with antivirus automatically. So if you are still using Windows 10, you can be very prone to this kind of attacks, to this kind of malware attacks. So do well to update every of your device, every of your applications, so you won't get affected by any of these malwares. And there's even a new malware right now that's actually rampaging out now. It's on React network. So any on React framework. So if you're a developer, you will know what I mean already. React now is full of some kind of malware, some kind of attack. So now anyone using the lower version of React has to update it, of course. So they don't become a victim of those attacks of lower versions. It has to be upgraded. And that's why you have to update everything, every of your device, not to get affected by any of these exploits. Now, the remaining type of cyber attacks that we have, cyber threat that we have here, they are actually something I won't be going deep into. I might even talk about them at all because most of us here won't understand unless we start from the very basics and we push it further. Now, we have the credential attacks, we have the web app exploit, that is web application exploit, the API abuse, insider threats, supply chain attacks, cloud misconfigurations, DDoS attack, zero-day exploit. Now, I will be talking about one out of all of this, which is the insider threat. Insider threat. Now, insider threat is malicious or negligent employees leaking data or bypassing controls. Now, this is when you see when an organization, a very big organization, get attacked by cyber attack. And you are wondering, I think this organization is secure. How do they get this kind of attack? Most of the times it's through an insider threat. Now, insider threat is almost impossible to eradicate as it comes from human being. Yeah, it's someone that actually gives out the information. That's why we call them insider threats, but we don't recognize them. They come out and they give the attackers information that they need to break into your network. Now, it's just like me coming out now and giving out everything that belongs to TeliyTech, the password, the let's say everything, every credentials they need to just compromise this place. I give it to them. Now, I am an insider threat in that form, but they don't know that I am the one. And that's who an insider threat is. And that's how they act. You don't know. You never know. Almost impossible to eradicate completely because you can't tell who is who. And that's why we have this zero trust in cybersecurity. Zero trust. Trust nobody in the cybersecurity field because anyone can actually be acting on the bad side that you are not aware of. And if you are not careful, you can actually fall victim of their cyber attack. Now, with all saying this, if you continue with the real classes sense and probably through the enrollment, you will see that all these things are actually something you can understand and practicalize in terms of all the cyber attacks, especially if you are into pen testing, ethical hacking, or security engineering. You understand all these vulnerabilities, all these kind of attacks, how to stop them, how to mitigate some, and how to actually go about some of these attacks in which you won't fall a victim of. Now, this thing of phishing and malware is actually a top-notch cyber threat that we actually need to be very, very aware of. Be careful of the link you click. Read it twice. If it's ending with .com.ng.org, that's organization dot some kind of other good domain names, but if it's ending with .xyz, .wv, unreasonable terms, then you know that, yeah, this thing is not from a legit source, especially if the URL is not even having a real name, like https:// then you start seeing some kind of weird things. Let me make an example here and say https and start seeing something like this ./ Now, you don't know what this is. This is not a valid name. This is not a valid domain. You should not click on this link. It's already malicious. Don't bother if it is on HTTPS or HTTP. The fact that it's not even having a real name is a reason why you should not click on it. Like I said, zero trust. And don't trust any link you see. If you see any link you're not aware of, go to VirusTotal, drop the link, and then you will know if it is malicious or not. As we run the example, you can use this on your device, on your mobile phone, or your system. Just make sure you check every link before clicking on it. It takes no seconds to check on the link. Do not click on any link sent to you and say, oh, there's one airdrop somewhere, or there's one somewhere, and you click on the link and you get affected by it. So be very careful when it comes to links, and you won't, from there, you won't be affected by a malware attack. Thank you.